You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
A cemetery that has been around DeKalb for over 100 years will be getting a makeover. Good evening, everyone. I'm Torian Small. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Lauren Scott. NTC reporter Christine Vanderbroek reports on how history will be preserved in Evergreen Cemetery.
Evergreen Cemetery has been a quiet part of the DeKalb area for almost 160 years. For DeKalb residents, this cemetery is an old, forgotten piece of land. No one has been buried in this cemetery for over 10 years now. From a distance, Evergreen Cemetery looks like a regular graveyard. However, the upkeep has been very minimal.
It's a lot of history, and we haven't seen any real repair work done in about 150 years, so if we're going to restore them and make them presentable, now's the time there.
With no real maintenance, pieces of garbage are found scattered throughout the plots. Many of the headstones have sunken into the earth and over time have become unreadable. Some are even completely missing from their sites. Evergreen will finally no longer be overlooked.
When we were in Evergreen, two of the headstones we surfaced were soldiers of the War of 1812. So while they might not have family or any living relatives, they should be appreciated for the contribution they gave to this country.
Johnson has brought in a team of contractors to restore this piece of DeKalb's history. Over the next several years, Johnson is hoping to restore and repair all of its damaged headstones and hopefully preserving them for another 100 years. This is Christine Vandenbroek in DeKalb for NTC News.
The cemetery is not the only place getting a makeover. The Sycamore Library is going through some renovations as well. The second floor will feature some new things, including a reference desk and children's room. The circulation desk was moved downstairs and the adult reading room is larger and has more seating. It's been more than 15 years since the library was last renovated. They expect work to be done by next month.
DeKalb police aren't renovating, but they are expanding into a new headquarters. The groundbreaking ceremony for the new DeKalb police station that took place earlier this month drew a crowd of city officials. Construction has already begun as the backhoes are digging out the foundation for the station. So far, the project is under budget and 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Officers and students passed by the construction site to take a look at the up-and-coming new addition. The site is on Lincoln Highway across the street from the...
With housing for all the police department needs, Sally Port, new evidence processing lab, and new evidence and storage areas.
The site is on Lincoln Highway across the street from the Center of Black Studies.
DeKalb Mayor Chris Polson says he will not be running for re-election for this upcoming term. Polson was appointed back in 2008 when the previous mayor died of pancreatic cancer. The mayor has no regrets when he looks back at his 16 years in city government. The plan is to seek out new interests in public and social service. The mayor's seat is up for election next April 9th, 2012.
The presidential election is still more than a month away, but if you already know how you're going to vote, you don't have to wait. Absentee voting begins today in DeKalb County. A new state law means you won't need a hardship excuse to turn in a ballot early. You could find the form on the county clerk's website, or you can go to the county's legislative center in Sycamore. Next month, the county will open several building locations for additional early voting.
DeKalb police are asking for all of your unwanted prescription drugs for National Drug Take-Back Day this Saturday morning. This weekend, the department is accepting unwanted prescription drugs anonymously from residents. This provides a safe way to dispose of prescription drugs. This day also helps clean the water supply. Flushing pills down toilets and sinks contaminates the water supply, which police are trying to avoid. This event will be this Saturday at DeKalb's police station.
The Flu Ends With You campaign marks the beginning of the flu season. Students here at NIU are advised to get vaccinated before getting sick. Experts say the flu vaccine is safe for everyone to use. It is recommended that everyone 6 months and older get a flu shot. Flu season can begin as early as October, but most commonly peaks in January and February. It's never too early to get vaccinated.
A school in Illinois closes because half the students were no-shows.
And a new poll shows more support for the same-sex marriage in Illinois. These are today's state lines.
A grade school in central Illinois is closed yesterday after half its students failed to show up. 51 students in Ashmore stayed home along with 5 people on the school staff because of flu-like illnesses.
Support for same-sex marriage in Illinois has jumped 10% in 2 years. A new SIU poll says 44% of those surveyed back legalizing gay marriage, and about 1/3 are in favor of civil unions for gay couples.
The state is shutting down an unemployment office in Freeport at the end of the year. A state official says the Freeport branch was chosen because it has one of the lowest demands for services statewide. The 11 workers will be absorbed into offices in Rockford and Sterling.
There's more evidence for the emerald ash borer is spreading in Illinois. They've now turned up in Lee and Henry counties north of us. The borer is a small invasive beetle whose larvae burrows into ash trees, eventually destroying them. And those are today's state lines.
So it looks like fall is just around the corner, but the weather has been kind of warm lately, actually.
Sure does. The temperature has been all over the place.
Well, Christine Swiner is here now to tell us why the weather is going to get a little bit better, maybe?
I do have some great news for you guys. The temperatures are going to be about 70 degrees, so that perfect fall weather. You always like a little bit cold in the mornings, but a great nice high in the day and then colder late at night. I'll tell you a bit more about that forecast later. But for Friday's outlook, we've got temperatures right around the 70-degree mark, 71 for Rockford and DeKalb, and as we head towards Chicago, 69 degrees. I have a full forecast for when we get back. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Anticipating that great weekend ahead. Today we had a high of 68 degrees, and tonight we're going to experience a low of about 44 degrees. That's right around the normal temperature for this time of year, but as you can see, an 89 record in 1998, so a big difference from that. And our sunrise today was 65 degrees and 6:50 a.m., excuse me, and sunset at 6:42. That's almost a complete 12-hour day, so we're getting right towards that time change that you expect in the fall time. With our radar check, we've got big storms out in the Texas and Oklahoma regions producing somewhat of a squall line. We're expecting heavy winds and rains and a possibility of some tornadoes. But with DeKalb, you can see we're pretty clear here. No showers, nothing too exciting for us. Because of that, tonight we have a huge high pressure right over Illinois, and that's going to sit here for tomorrow and in tomorrow night with a big high that's going to produce that calm winds and about that nice 70-degree temperature mark. For tonight, as I said, clear, a low about 44 degrees. That's because we've got the northeast winds at about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, those winds stay the same, so we're going to have a calm day and a high of almost 71 degrees. And then for tomorrow night, partly cloudy, a low of 48 degrees because of that wind shift to the southwest direction. And for my 5-day forecast, bringing us into the weekend, we have a great outlook. Tomorrow, a high of 71 degrees. We're going to bump that up to 76 on Saturday. Sunday is going to take a dip down to 70 degrees. And then as we start the next week up, a high of 75 and 76. So a great weekend expected. No rain and clear skies. And then a great start to next week. That's all I have for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kristen. A new lead in the decades-old Jimmy Hoffa mystery.
And students who got pepper sprayed last year might be getting $1 million payout. This is today's World Watch.
The mystery has existed for years, people asking, where is mobster Jimmy Hoffa buried? Police in Michigan hope to answer that question Friday with a dig at his home in Roseville. Investigators got what they think is a credible tip, saying a body was buried at the home at the same time the former Teamsters boss disappeared in 1975. A radar test confirms that something is there.
The University of California is paying big time for a police officer who pepper sprayed a group of students last year. They're offering $1 million settlement for what you're seeing here in this video on the UC Davis campus. Police were trying to clear an occupied encampment. The school is now offering to pay 21 plaintiffs $30,000 each as part of a proposed settlement.
First-time claims for jobless benefits failed last week, hitting the lowest level since July. The Labor Department says about 360,000 people filed jobless claims for the first time last week. That's 26,000 less than the week before, and it's far better than analysts were anticipating.
A top cartel leader in Mexico is now behind bars. The Mexican Navy says it captured Ivan Velasquez Calabero yesterday. He is thought to be one of the principal leaders of the Zetas cartel. The Zetas are one of Mexico's major drug cartels known for its violence. And that's today's World Watch. The tables have turned in AL Central's playoff race, but it wasn't in DeKalb.
It's time for NTC Sports, and Doug Rogers joins us now to tell us if the White Sox are still on the top of the division.
Yeah, guys, yesterday the Southsiders were holding on to a one-game lead over the Tigers. The Sox lost to the Indians on Tuesday. That put them into a dead-even record with Detroit. So in order to stay on top, they had to bounce back last night against Cleveland. In the top of the sixth, Nate Jones walks Carlos Santana with the bases loaded. Game tied 4-4. Then in the eighth, Vinny Rotino blasts a shot to left for the solo home run. Chicago walks 12 batters in the game and drops out of first place in the AL Central. And with that Sox loss, the Tigers had a chance to take the division lead when they hosted the Royals. In the fourth, Detroit's Alex Avila cracks the two-run home run off of Jeremy Guthrie, 4-3 Royals. Then in the eighth, Johnny Peralta hits a grounder to left, and Andy Dirks slides right into the second baseman. Let's take one more look at that. That was a tough break for the Royals, and the Tigers hang on to win that one 5-4. Now to the NL Central, where the Cubs traveled west to take on the Rockies. The Northsiders went in last night with 95 losses on the year, hoping to avoid that brutal 100-loss season. To the bottom of the first, where Rockies' Jordan Pacheco sails the double to left. Meanwhile, Charlie Blackmon races all the way around from first for the score. That's 1-0 Rockies. Then in the third, Blackmon steps up and says, "Hey, I can score my own runs." He rips it to right for the solo home run shot. Cubs lose hard in this one, 6-0. And good news for NFL fans. The NFL and the NFL officials agreed to a deal to get the real refs back on the field. Well, we all remember some of the highly controversial calls some of the replacement refs made during the lockout, namely the one made in the final seconds of the Packers-Seahawks game Monday night. So football fans will be happy to know that the regular NFL referees will return to action in tonight's game. Now the change is temporary, but it's a good sign moving forward. And in sports notes today, the NIU women's soccer team takes on Akron tomorrow night in Ohio. The NIU volleyball team plays Ball State tomorrow night right here in DeKalb after a 14-game road trip. And the NIU football team will begin MAC play against Central Michigan at Husky Stadium Saturday afternoon. And for today's play of the day, we head back to the ball field where the Yankees squared off against the Twins. In the first, Minnesota Twin Ben Revere smacks the grounder up the first base line, but Robinson Cano snatches the ball and slings it right back to Nick Swisher for the out. Cano pumped up after that amazing play for the out. Taking one more look, Cano slides to make the grab and then whips it right back to first, and that's our play of the day. Also, guys, there's a battle between Northern Illinois Big 12 football teams tonight when DeKalb travels to Caneland. So if you can, be sure to go and check those guys out.
Yeah, you gotta love a good old high school football rivalry.
Thanks, Doug.
Definitely.
What's better than going to Chuck E. Cheese on your birthday? How about an alligator pool party? We'll explain after this. Stay with us.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
In parts of Florida, everyday living includes alligators.
But one man's ideas about an alligator tourist attraction are raising some questions about whether he's taking things too far. He runs a business that lets you rent an alligator for your son or daughter's next weekend pool party. The animal's name is Burger. The man who started the alligator rental service tapes the animal's mouth shut, and the kids get a course in alligator safety. The owner runs a tourist attraction in St. Petersburg area, but business has been slow, so this is his way of trying to make up for it. Florida Fish and Wildlife officials say they are investigating whether this business is legal. We want to thank you all for being with us today. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back this same time Monday.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everyone.